Good afternoon, Georgetown, Texas. Can everybody hear us out there tonight in the back? RJ, can you hear us in the back, RJ? If RJ can hear us, everybody can hear us. So, hey, guys, well, thank you for being here tonight. I know there's a lot of folks that are probably just in here eating, wondering what is going on. This is the Eagle Nation Coaches Show that we have every week here at Berger University, celebrating your Georgetown Eagles. Again, we want to thank Berger University. Can we please give a round of applause to the fine folks here at Berger U? Thank you, ladies, for hosting us. And Kay again told me she's going to be loud and proud all season, so thank you, Kay, for that. Hey, Kay is leaving to go sing coming up in Louisiana. Was that right, Kay? So let's give awesome. Well, let's give Kay a round of applause. She's singing. I asked her tonight, I said, Kay, can you come up here and sing for us? And she said, no, I'm not going to do that. So anyways, we'll get you up here one of these days. Well, guys, we are here tonight talking about the Georgetown Eagles, who defeated Waco, a 6A team, 35-7 on the road last week. Congratulations, Georgetown. It was another showcase of disciplined offense and defense for your Eagles, 26-0 in the third quarter. I think that is excellent. Round of applause for the defense on that. Taking care of business. 364 total yards on 80 snaps. 254 of those yards were rushing, 110 passing. Along with R.J. Moreno, Ryan Eady had some success on the ground as well. It was good to see new names in there with Ryan taking care of business. Aaron Buzzell and Saul De La Rosa with 2 interceptions. And so a great opportunity for the Eagles. Well, as we start this first segment, let's welcome up your Georgetown Eagles head football coach, Chuck Griffin. Come on up, Coach. Let's give it up for Coach. On a beautiful afternoon, a little rain. It got cool outside. How many are enjoying this cool weather also? All right. Well, Coach, appreciate you as always as Georgetown, off rocking and rolling. And before we get started, you brought something up here that we can talk about. Hold this up, Coach. This is a new helmet, right, Coach?
Yep, this is our new lid we're going to wear Friday night. So,
do you guys like that? Check that out. I mean, look at that. Come on, man. This is sweet, man. This is awesome. It's got the nice Eagle blue on the back, the black helmets, man. So it's going to be a great night down in South San Antonio, Coach.
The kids are pretty fired up about that. So I came in this morning, and we go to the weight room first on Wednesday morning, but they all had their helmets and their cleats on. They were ready to go outside. So they're pretty excited. Well,
Coach, impressive through the first 2 games of the season. We talked last week about how critical, how important game number 2 always is. But Georgetown getting that second win. Can you kind of elaborate last week as we talked about game number 2, how important this victory was versus Waco?
Just anytime you have a chance to go play a competitive 6A team and get a win, that's big. And Waco does it, man, they're super athletic. And for our guys to go out there and play well, give up 166 yards, I think, defensively, to put 35 points up on the board. And we probably left a few points out there, but still to be able to do that was really good.
Well, Coach, Georgetown has scored 84 points now in 2 games. The defense only allowing 26. They held Waco, as you just said, 160 yards on 47 plays, just 8 first downs, if I'm not mistaken. How impressed were you with your defense versus Waco?
Man, defense is doing a great job. They're playing lights out. They really are. We've just got some, guys like Taylor Beal, Braden Hargrove, Saul De La Rosa, Taco Williams, Matt Anderson. Those guys are just doing a great job for us and just making play after play.
And Georgetown's been on the up end of that turnover margin. Talk a little bit about the defense forcing turnovers this season.
That's important. Anytime you can be on the positive end of the turnover margin, that's really good. And we were able to get 3 the other night, picked up a fumble. Really, go back and look at it. We think it was a touchdown, not a safety. But we were able to get a fumble there and then also be able to get a couple interceptions. So that's really, man, anytime you can do that defensively, that's big.
Coach, I was trying to go back and look. Who was on that play? Was that Taylor on that safety?
Taylor is the one ended up recovering the ball, yep.
Awesome. And he's here tonight, so we're going to talk to him a little bit later. But just the defense continued to be impressive. Your offense, though, we talk about running success from guys like R.J. Moreno, who we'll talk to a little bit later here tonight, and also Ryan Eady. Darson Herman continues to be strong running from that quarterback position. Can you talk a little bit as far as the takeaways from the ground game last week and then overall the first 2 games of the season? It's been impressive.
Yeah, it is. Our guys are doing a great job up front. Alex Thiel leading that group up front, and then Connor Heffernan and Trey Flores and Estrada and all those guys and Alex Mahana, who he was our offensive lineman in the game, gave up no sacks, graded out at 98%. That's good, and when you can do that offensively and you've got guys that are playing really well up front, that allows some guys to come in and run the football. So it's good.
Coach, we continue to see, what I kind of call the dual threat quarterback along with Darson Herman. Georgetown really taking care of that business. Talk a little bit about that and what it's been like having those dual quarterbacks in there.
It's just a process right now. I don't know that we have an exact plan. It's kind of a feel that Coach Beatty, our offense coordinator, has, and kind of what we plan through the week. And some of Jordan's better at some things, and Darson's better at other things, and we just try to create a good combination. And I think that's tough defensively when you've got two guys that are different quarterbacks. You got to prepare for both of them, and they do different things. So, we're going to keep doing that. And like I said last week, there'll be some games where one guy plays a whole lot more than the other, just depending on what we're going to see defensively and those kind of things. But right now they're doing a great job both playing. So, Coach,
your offensive line giving a lot of lanes for those running backs. Talk a little bit about those guys as well up front.
Like I said earlier, all those guys. Alex Mahana, Estrada, Trey Flores, Alex Steele, and Connor Heffernan. Each one of those guys is doing really good. I mentioned last week, Connor Heffernan, he is really getting it at left tackle. And it's just kind of, he's destroying some folks up front, doing a really good job. And Alex is the leader of that group. He makes the call, tells everybody where to go and what to do. And we got a comment from the umpire last week of the game. He said, I've called every level. And he said, your center has the best feed of any center I've ever seen. And that's a pretty good compliment when you got you got an umpire that says that, and he's been umpiring for over 20 years. That's a pretty good compliment.
Well, Coach, just final before we move in and look ahead, of course, to this coming up Friday. What were you impressed with overall, and what are some things maybe to take away to improve from versus Waco?
A big thing improvement-wise, we got to improve on special teams. We were not very good at the PAT field goal, and we dropped a snap, we had a bad snap, we missed a kick, and those things are not typical of us and what we are. We always kind of consider that to be automatic. So we worked on that this week. We didn't do great on one kickoff coverage. Kicker had to come in and make a game-saving tackle, or touchdown-saving tackle. So we had to work on some of those things. We did do really well at our kickoff. We were able to pick up one kickoff. Just had it bouncing around. We were able to get on a pooch kick. We did that. We tried that again and got really close another time. So I think our special teams are kind of up and down a little bit. Offensively, we still got to get better. We dropped 2 touchdowns the other night, and we were able to score on one of those drives. The other ones we didn't. And we were close to having 2 more touchdowns on the board. And we got to win tough games. We got to be able to make those plays. So we got to get better there too. But again, you got 400 yards of offense and you got 35 points on the board, and you're giving up 166. That's good. That's good football.
It's not a bad start through the first 2 games, Coach. Of course, 2-0 here to start the season as we look ahead to this week, Friday versus South San down in San Antonio, Texas. I just mentioned Georgetown, 2-0. I was going back. And, again, I told you, if you ever hear any stats come out of me, just give me a little pop on the back of the head and we'll get them corrected, Coach. But I was going back looking at the record book through what we saw. Georgetown, the past 9 seasons, dating back to 2011, they have started 2-0. That's impressive. I think that's a good round of applause for Georgetown, because we broadcast many teams on the SHN network here in Central Texas, and there's several teams that, in fact, one of them just over in Bastrop, this was their first year, although they're a new school, their first season to ever start 2-0 with Cedar Creek. And so Georgetown, I don't ever want to say that we've kind of taken that early start for granted, but it is something that Georgetown expects, and it's happened. Again, going back to 2001, we look ahead to South San Bobcats down in San Antonio. Last year, Georgetown defeated this team at Birkelbach 45-35. This year, the Bobcats 2-0. It's another 6A team. They defeated McCollum, not McCallum. Of course, McCollum in San Antonio, 21-7 to open the season. And then last week, defeated Harlandale 30-7. Last year the South San team was a team that only finished the season 2-0 or 2-8. If they went 2-0, I don't know how that would be possible. 2-8, but they've definitely improved this season, starting right there at that 2-0 mark. Coach, another road game. This time heading south. Just a question I wanted to ask: do you and the team, do you guys enjoy traveling those trips?
Well, I don't think our parents do. I've heard that a little bit this week, but it's. Last week I ended up riding down on an unair conditioned bus, so I did not enjoy it at all. we're taking a couple of charters this week, so that'll be a little better. That's just part of it. We talk about controlling what you can control, and that's what we're playing. That's the schedule set for us, and we're going to go out and play it. So we're not going to worry about it. I mean, playing on the road is always tough. It doesn't matter if it's in Gupton Stadium or if it's down in San Antonio. Playing on the road is tough. You're on somebody else's home field, so that is what it is. We got to go and take care of our business and do our job. So we're excited about the trip.
Coach, wanted to talk this season, of course last season as well. We've played some 6A teams to start the season. Just your thoughts on that process. You're playing teams that are upper classification. I know that you approach any game that, hey, it's we're going out, we're playing football, but just wanted to get your thoughts on playing these 6A teams and kind of how that came about.
It's if you know anything about the schedule, it'll be set like this next February for the next 2 years, and we always have to try to find. We're either in a 7 or 8 team district usually, and we got to go find 3 or 4 ball games every year, and we want to find somebody that's going to challenge us. We want to find somebody we also want to find somebody we feel like we got a chance to beat. We don't want to go play the Dallas Cowboys in week 1.
Not this year.
So we want to make sure that we can get in a competitive situation and get better. So that's what we're looking around for, and it's been tougher. You mentioned the success Georgetown's had, and with Coach Dean and Coach Blue, and those guys have had some success. So it's tough to find games. We can't just find anybody anymore. So sometimes there is travel involved because we got to go find somebody to go play. There's
teams like Hutto that are hosting our friends in El Paso. That's going to be a very a very monumental game because Hutto has reached out. Of course, the tragedies there in El Paso, but they've reached out. And that's going to be a really nice game. Right. I was talking to those guys at Hutto, and they said, look, this isn't all football all the time. Kind of your thoughts on that as well. It's you get out here and to play the game, but it's not always football all the time. There's a lot of teaching moments for these kids, Coach.
Absolutely. We that's something we take pretty seriously, our character education. We spend a great deal of time on the spring in that. We actually put all our coaches get together, and we actually write a little workbook and put together, and we meet on that a couple of times a week throughout the spring. And we go through just some different character development traits that we feel young men have to have. And then in the fall, we use Two Words TV with Stephen Mackey and Mackey TV. And we have a lesson every week on something to do with just character development. So we think that's a big part of what we do and what we're about. We want to develop. We want to be a character development program that's really good at football. So we want to produce young men that are going to contribute to society and contribute to this community and be great husbands and fathers one day.
That's awesome, Coach. Well, we appreciate what you do, what the staff does at Georgetown. Let's give a round of applause for that. I think that's important because we love our football. I know Kay loves her football. We all love our football, but it's about building these kids up, and that's something that Georgetown has done a very good job. So I wanted to make sure that gets known, of course, out there for some of those that are on the YouTube stream. They say, what is this Georgetown Eagle program? That's what they're about. So
thank you.
We appreciate that. Well, Coach, as we look ahead, of course, South San will be down in San Antonio and down against a team that, as I said earlier, has improved. They're not the same team as last year. What are some of the positions maybe on that team, some of the players or positions we should be on the look for, Coach?
Brennan Riojas, their quarterback, and Sebastian Grego, their tailback, man, they're doing a really good job. They got 2 good athletes on the outside, Fabian Navarro and Steve Cifuentes. Those 2 guys on the outside are really good too. So and they've got some guys playing 2 ways. But, they run the triple option, which is something that's a little bit difficult. We don't see it very often. So it's actually been something since we started in 2 days. We've been having a South San period at every single practice because it's assignment football. To be honest with you, it kind of takes the football player out of you a little bit because you have to be exactly on assignment. There's no freelancing. If you freelance, that's when they take the dive for 60. I think other than that, from a standpoint, they're a lot like us. They've only given up 14 points on the year so far. They've won both games big. They put up some big numbers offensively. They're putting up great numbers defensively. They got an expert kicker. Man, that kicker, I think he can put it in a paper cup if you put it out there on the field for him. He's really good. So we got a lot of things to prepare for. We got to be good at all phases of the game, and offensively, we're going to have to be methodical. We're going to have to take care of the football. Defensively, we got to play assignment perfect. Everybody's got to do their job. And then, special teams wise, we got to be sound. We got to clean some stuff up from last week and get back to kind of what we did the first week. We were pretty sharp, I think, or special teams wise in the first week.
Well, Coach, you kind of answered the next question just talking about what Georgetown has to get established early. You talked about the offense, really having to play methodical. You talked about your defense, just really getting their assignments, the special teams on point. Anything you'd like to elaborate on that, and then maybe just a couple of points as keys to victory?
Keys to victory are always, it's about the ball. You got to take care of the football. That's what I tell them all the time, man. It's all about the ball. You got to get it defensively, and you got to take care of it on offense. So that's a big key. We've had a couple of turnovers in each game. We got to get away from that. We got to secure the football. That's number one. And then we've got to do our job offensively, whatever that is. Whether you're wide receiver or quarterback, or you got to do your assignment. Defensively, we got to run to the football, and we've got to tackle. But most importantly, we got to play assignment football. They're not a team. I think they've only thrown the ball 6 times all year, so they don't throw the ball very much. We got to be able to tackle the running back. That's big. And then special teams, you just got to be perfect in special teams. When you're not, they play so little. When you're not perfect, it takes out a large part of the game. So we've got to do well with that.
Coach, just the last couple of questions here as we continue our second segment, looking ahead with head coach Chuck Griffin of the Eagles. Overall health of the team at this point?
We're a little banged up, and this, for whatever reason, this seems to be the year of the shoulder. We've got some shoulder issues, but we're addressing those. We're getting a couple of guys back this week. We lost one last week who had a great game, was our defensive player of the game, and but we're okay. We got a week off next week, so we're going to get some guys back as we get ready to get into the real thick of our schedule. But overall, we're pretty healthy. We're okay.
Practices this week, Coach, been good?
Yeah, they have. Monday was great. I told them I thought Monday was probably our best Monday of the year, which is good. We didn't get a full practice in yesterday. Lightning got us, and we had to get out. And we had to do a little bit of when that happens, we have a little small indoor where we can run in a little inside run hole, and so we're able to do that where offense can go take care of theirs, defense can go to the film room, and then we can flip it. So that was yesterday. We really thought Lightning was going to get us today. They handled it today great. The wind was blowing about 30 miles an hour, which if you're a football player, that's just distracting because it whistles through your helmet and it gets loud. And, of course, we play music, so you throw the music in there and you throw the wind in there, and we kind of rearranged practice to make sure we could get the really important parts in because we thought we had some lightning close, but it wasn't within our 10-mile radius. So we pushed practice, and we really got the whole thing in, but it was a little out of the ordinary. So they did a really good job handling that today. I think anytime you have sudden change like that and they can handle it and have a predictive practice, that's good.
Awesome. Well, Coach, before we let you go, final thoughts or any additional information you'd like to share with us on this?
I guess I'll put out there one thing because this got brought up today. We are playing at South San Antonio Bobcat Stadium, not Bobcat Stadium in San Marcos. If you Google Bobcat Stadium, it'll take you to San Marcos. All right, don't do that. We had some people call about that today. I'll put the address out on Twitter and man, we'd love to see you out there. I know it's a long drive. We're not going to have a band or cheerleaders or anything this week, so man, all the fans we can have yelling and screaming would be great.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because if you go to the Fox Sports Friday night app, it says Bobcat Stadium.
Right.
So it's not Bobcat Stadium. Don't go to Bobcat Stadium.
It's South San Antonio Bobcat Stadium. You can find it that way. But
Awesome.
We'll put the address up on social media tonight.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you for your accessibility. Very excited about this game coming up. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Georgetown Eagle head football coach Chuck Griffin. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Well, friends, as we continue here, before we quickly jump into our third segment, we're going to talk to our players of the game. We do have some sponsors this year that we'd like to thank. Extraco Banks, Greg Edie, appreciate you. Georgetown Shirt Company, we have our SHM Football Friday shirts that are out. Thank you to Georgetown Shirt Company. And then also Royce Electric up in Harker Heights supporting their granddaughter who's a cheerleader, Kaylee Biondo. So thank you to those sponsors. Can we give them a round of applause for helping make this possible? And friends, just because kids move on and they graduate doesn't mean that they're still part of the Eagle family or the Eagle Nation. I would just ask that you please keep the Bobby Rogers family in your prayers as well. Caden Leggett's grandpa, he is battling cancer right now, and so he's undergoing surgery tomorrow. So I would please ask that you keep them in your prayers. The Leggett family has been very good to this program. We love you, Bobby. We're praying for a speedy recovery, and our best wishes are with you, my friend. So we love you, man. Well, as we bring up our third segment, please join me in welcoming our defensive player of the game, senior linebacker Taylor Bill. Come on up, Taylor. Appreciate you being here, young man. I reached out to Taylor last night, and I know he was busy, and he got back this morning and said I could be here. But he said, Rob, can I go first? Because he's got to get to youth group, man. So congrats. Yeah. Awesome on that, man. Keeping the priorities going, brother. So, well, we appreciate you. Taylor Bill, last year I was saying Bell, and you corrected me.
I did.
And your whole family corrected me.
Yeah.
So we got that down. So we appreciate the Bill family. Thank y'all for being here tonight, as always. Well, versus Waco, 12 tackles. You had the safety down there as well that you recovered. 28 tackles, I believe, in 2 games. You know, Taylor, it's cool to see you guys grow up through this program. And I've been calling your games and watching you as you've become part of Georgetown and grown up in the program here, of course, a lot last year. And now as a senior, talk about your journey here at Georgetown and the leadership role that you have now on the team.
Well, since I've been here, it's just been a blessing to be a part of the team. These guys have really shown me what it means to just be just a teammate and a leader on this team, and I'm just so thankful for every single one of them. The coaches are just on a whole new level. They're just dedicated, and they're just crazy good at what they do, and we're just so thankful for them. The competition here is insane, and just couldn't be more thankful for that.
Talk about the transition this year. I like to bring it up, with Coach Dean and now under the leadership of Coach Griffin. What has that been like for you as a player going through the program?
I really like Coach Griffin. He's a lot of fun, and he's just a really good coach, and it's awesome to just have him on the team.
Awesome, man. Well, how impressed were you with the victory versus Waco? And these last 2 games specifically, the efforts of your teammates, specifically on defense, how have you been? How impressed have you been with your guys?
On defense, it's just a whole new level this year. I think we're definitely grown together as a team a lot better, and I think we're just going to keep improving. We were going to go into Waco knowing we're going to shut them down, so that was the goal, and we did it. Really, the only thing that you guys are struggling with on defense this year is the trivia challenge at the end of the coaches' shows. So we'll get that improved, right? That's true. We're taking dubs this year. Well, another question here. Talk about some of the positive highlights here in these first 2 games. We've talked a lot about the defense, how great you guys have been. What have been some of these positive highlights for you through the first 2? Definitely our communication on defense. We've been talking a lot throughout the game, and the communication is just really key, and it's been a big part of our game. And on offense, I would say just being able to just drive the ball and score has been a huge deal with the defense, and we're thankful for that. Another thing, too, is our depth. Our depth isn't really too good right now, but the guys that are in are just really balling out, and we're super hyped about that. Awesome. Well, you mentioned, a little bit of the depth there, and you're working on that. Going forward, where do you think that you can improve on personally? Definitely hustling on and off the field. I feel like that's a huge deal with me. I kind of just walk everywhere before and after the play, so I'm going to work on that a little bit more. So who talks to you about that on the sideline? No one. Nobody. Okay. I'd sit there with my towel over my head. I'm just focused. All right, now you're on alert. They're going to go back and see this, so you're on alert now for that. We'll be watching it from the booth as well. So we'll talk about that. As far as your overall defense, where do you think some things that you guys can work on a little bit? And I know that's tough because you played great through the first 2. Nothing. Defense is solid, baby. All right, there you go. Hey, positive, keep rolling, man. All right. Talking about the remainder of this year, of course, it's a question you could answer saying, hey, we want to get to state. But besides looking at that, your expectations as you go through the year? As we go through the year, I just really want us to beat Cedar Park. And I know we're going to beat Cedar Park. So that's the goal right there, baby. That's the goal. Cedar Park is going down. But as we go through the team, I want to be a whole new feeling of just being able to feel like champions throughout the whole season, just continue to work on our craft and get better as a team. As we continue to talk to Taylor Bill, just a few more questions here. Looking ahead, South San, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to with these guys? I'm excited for the dive. Every single play. That's a lot. That's a lot of stats right there, and I know the defense is just going to get a quick dub right there. All right. And talking about your play, kind of going back here a little bit. 28 tackles through the first 2 games. 29. See, I told him. But the coach can do it. That was max preps. Fix your stats, max preps. They're not really max. That's medium or minimal preps. Not getting Taylor's stats right. Come on, guys. 29 tackles. What's that been like through the first 2, man? Just your play and being able, your guys up front been helping out a lot. But talk about that, man. My defensive line really, they're the only reason I'm able to make plays. So without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And, I've just been working really hard this offseason to be where I'm at. Some role models that you look up to, man. Coach Pat. Coach Pat, and Luke Kuechly. I really like Luke Kuechly. So that's about it.
I like how you say that again. That's a fun last name.
Kuechly.
Kuechly. Can y'all say it real quick? It feels good. Kuechly. Only like 3 people did it, man. We're just trying to have fun, you know? Oh, Kuechly. All right, Kuechly.
I look up to Taco Williams a lot.
Hey, future plans, man. Where do you want to be? You know, you're a senior now. Things are rocking and rolling for you. Where do you want to be, man, after high school?
I'm committed over to ULM, over in the Sun Belt Conference. So
Awesome.
I'll be attending there. As of right now, I'm verbally committed. And that's my plans.
Sweet, man. Let's give a round of applause for that before last one. That's awesome, man. Final shout-out, camera right there on you tonight. Who do you want to send some love to here from Burger U, man?
Shout out Tommy. Shout out Theo. Shout out Jacob. Shout out Tommy. Yes, sir. Shout out Matt. Shout out Dre. Shout out RJ. Shout out my favorite receiver right there. Shout out the managers. Shout out all the parents. Shout out Coach Griff. Shout out my mama,
Awesome.
Of course. And shout out Burger U.
Hey,
Trey and Mahana and Jacob and Ethan. Shout out all y'all.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Hey, one last question. You know, you talked about your youth group. Talk a little bit about that, man. I know that you're committed. Do you mind talking about that, man, those guys?
Yeah.
And just your leadership role with those guys, man.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, I don't really have a father figure in my life, so being at church and having those guys in my life is just huge. And they've really got me through a lot of stuff, and I'm just so thankful for them. Without church and without doing all this and that and just being a believer and man of God, I just wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Awesome, man. Let's give him a round of applause. Great young man. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Good luck coming up on South City. Appreciate you. Well, we enjoy every year, and I know some of the questions may seem redundant, but we learn so much, you know, throughout the years and throughout the players as well. So we appreciate them being here. A lot of these guys have commitments. They get out of practice, Coach, 6:15? They're getting over here around 6:30, 6:45. There is a lot in a day as a high school athlete, so we appreciate them. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move to the second part of our third segment, please join me in welcoming our offensive player of the game, Mr. RJ. Take it away, Moreno. Come on up, RJ. RJ's even getting a little, walkthrough over here, man. So, RJ, as always, we appreciate you. It's been a joy, just like with Taylor, watching you guys grow up, seeing just your ability on the field improve, and more importantly, your leadership, on the field. Versus Waco, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ran in for 2 touchdowns. You're a varsity player as well now. Talk about your journey and your role this season, man.
Going all the way back to sophomore year, watching everything, how things should be, and then translating it to junior year, taking a little step up from there, and then to senior year, really, trying to exploit all that, just being a leader on the team and the community and, everywhere.
I've heard rumor, and tell me if this is correct. Your hands, are they really MMA registered hands?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that, man.
So I trained in traditional Taekwondo for about 4 or 5 years, and in that I went on to win 3-time state championships, 1 national and 1 world championship. With that, I trained in boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, just a lot of different forms. So.
Man, that is give him a round of applause on that. That's a lot of dedication, a lot of work. RJ, can you practice on me real quick? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. His hands, those registered hands would go right through this, and I'd be down over at St. David. So let's don't beat up the radio guy here, man. Well, we're proud of you. We've seen you grow over the years. We've seen you do some incredible work.
Thank you.
Your offense looking good early this season. How do you compare this season to last versus with your offense?
Over the summer, I think we took things a lot more seriously and almost like a step ahead. Practicing every morning before Champions Camp and everything, getting our plays down, running, getting things with the O-line, just getting, tempo and everything, along with bonds and connections with those players. I think it gave us a really good advantage at the start of the season compared to last year, and I think we're a step ahead as of right now.
Question I wanted to ask you, in the backfield as a running back, 2 quarterbacks now, of course, with Jacob Oldorp and then Darson Herman. You're Jordan Oldorp.
Right.
What did I say?
Jacob.
Jordan Oldorp. Sorry, Jordan. Talk about your preparation because, you've got 1 quarterback that you work with. This year it's been 2. From your perspective, what is that like? I just kind of wanted to give the fans out there and those that enjoy the game of football, what is that like having to work with 2 different quarterbacks?
It's great. I think we recognize each other's strengths and each other's weaknesses in both, and we try to improve and take advantage of both strengths. So, working with both guys, Darson, he's a little taller, so the mesh point's a little bit higher up. But other than that, both guys are great workers, great work ethic, and they get the job done.
Well, of course, when your offense scores, that takes a lot of pressure off your defense, especially when you're
Absolutely.
up 26-0 in the third quarter. 2 of those scores coming from you on the running game. How important is that to you to make sure that your defense has those opportunities to really keep the offense rallying the way that you guys have been through the first 2?
I think the defense a lot. They do their job, and the offense comes out, and we do ours, and we just work hand in hand. So I think, we complement them, they complement us. Of course, there's always room to improve, but I think we can go out and keep doing that. And just continue to improve on that, getting the best from both of us.
Some areas for you that you feel that you can improve on, RJ?
I always think there's room to improve in everything. Vision being 1, explosiveness being 2, and, I try to be a versatile back, routes from the backfield, being able to catch the ball, just being a 3-down back. So I work to improve on all those weekly.
As you guys continue through the season, just as I asked Taylor, not talking about, of course, getting the state championship, that's a given, but as you go through the season, what's your expectations as you go through this year?
To have a positive record and to have the best bonds with these guys, leaving a legacy, being senior year last year, leaving a legacy for them to carry on and for them to know, this is the way things are supposed to be done and this is how it should be.
Who do you feel has been y'all's tough opponent? I know we talked about Cedar Park earlier. That's always kind of been the blister, if you will, or the bump in the road. Your thoughts on that? Who do you feel like is an opponent that you guys really want to take care of this season?
It's definitely Cedar Park. Cedar Park is always a personal game, and I know this year it's very personal. So.
In the last 2 years, it's been very close.
Yes.
Before, in the years before that, of course, we saw Cedar Park really rolling. So what do you have to work on this year? I know we're talking about South San coming up, but to really continue to roll through these teams and take care of business, what do you guys have to do?
Defense has to be assignment right, and offense just, we got to get everything has to be executed. We got to take care of penalties. We got to take care of alignment things, and at the end of the day, everybody just has to execute in their position and their job and trust that the guy next to them is going to take care of their stuff.
A question I'm going to throw at you that I've never thrown before to Coach's Show. What does it mean to you to be a Georgetown Eagle?
What does it mean to me? Growing up here in Georgetown, you watch the Georgetown Eagles. I attended elementary school here and the middle. You watch everything. You see the way things are done. So by the time you get to high school, it hits. It's like, wow, this is it. I am a Georgetown Eagle. And I think that just means doing everything the right way all the time when no one's looking and just being a good person.
Coach earlier talked about character development. Talk to us a little bit about that process and how important those are to you.
Sure. Character development is definitely something that the coaches stress. Like I said, doing the right thing when no one's looking, doing it all the time, and just knowing that everywhere that we go, we have that G on our chest. So.
Awesome, man. Some of your role models. I know your parents are here. Moreno family. Let's give them a round of
Absolutely.
applause. Appreciate you guys, as always. Who are some of your role models, man?
I look up to my coaches a lot. I look up extremely to my dad. My dad is my biggest inspiration. And I look up to Christian McCaffrey as well. I think he's a very explosive back, and I think he does a lot of great things. So I try to base my playing style off of him.
And talk about your preparation. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't want to diminish the fact that when you're out there, man, I just get out. I get excited on the call, and I'm like, RJ, take it away, Moreno, because literally you get the ball, you plow through, guys. What is your preparation the off season like? Because it takes a lot of work to do what you do, man.
It's a lot of fast, fast twitch muscles, band work, and taking care of your body. I think that taking care of your body is the biggest thing. Recovering, cryotherapy, whatever it is, but treating your body like a temple, whatever goes in is your fuel to keep you going. So I think that's a very big part. And then as well as weight room stuff, explosiveness, hang cleans, power cleans, all that is very, very effective.
Senior year's here, man. College coming up. What's your plans?
I'm not too sure yet. I want to get through the season. I have one offer as of right now, but I want to expand that and just have a good season.
Awesome, man. Final shout-out, camera right there on you, RJ. Who do you want to say hello to tonight, man, from the Burger House?
Shout out my family first, or God first, my family, my teammates, my O-line especially, Alex, and then all my leadership council, Taco, Taylor, Saul, Cade, all those guys. And then, of course, shout out coaches and shout out Burger U.
Awesome. Appreciate it. RJ, stay right here. We're going to do the trivia. Give it up for RJ Moreno. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, it's just been awesome watching these guys grow up, go through the system, and just grow into great young men. We need those kind of guys and role models here in our community. Hey, let's bring up all of the players here tonight that are participating in the coveted trivia challenge tonight. It's just going to be, you better just kind of come up with good answers because you're not going to know any of the answers, maybe one or two. I made it really hard tonight. We were going to do... Y'all are going to have to pass the headset around tonight whenever you do answers, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to bring an extra one. So here's how it's going to work, guys. You already know the ritual. For all of those, hey, is there anybody here tonight, by the way, that's a first-time guest that's never been to a coach's show? Can you raise your hand? Anybody? Supon, you've been here? I got you. Supon's never been here. Let's give her a clap. Thank you for being here. And after all these years, I got your name right finally. She goes, Rob, you've known me 15 years. You didn't say my name. Her daughter goes, who is that? And I was like, oh, my goodness, this is horrible. So thank you for being here. Thanks, everybody, for here tonight. So here we go, folks. It is our trivia challenge. The way it works, we got a little ongoing award that remains over in the field house. Very important that you get this right because it's for bragging rights and special shout-outs. So you got to continue to keep rolling here. The offense won last year. The defense was before that. We're tied up 1-1. But, man, I'm just dogging on the defense. As great as y'all have been in the trivia challenge, you've only got 2 questions right last week. So we're going to pick it up this time. So real quick, go over your name, your position, and your grade, and we'll go around and get to know all of y'all, and then we'll go from there. So, RJ, you can start it, man.
RJ Moreno, senior running back.
Alex Thiel, senior center.
Tommy Wilson, senior tight end.
Trey Flores, junior offensive guard.
Alex Mahana, senior right tackle.
Andreas Langhorn, junior safety.
Taco Williams, senior DB.
Jacob Ramos, senior DB.
Matt Anderson, senior linebacker.
Brennan Albrecht, junior wide receiver.
All right.
Ethan Garner, junior safety.
Taylor Beal, kick returner, 8th grade.
All right, 8th grade. Taylor Bill, 8th grade. All right. May have to get that. UIL may have to keep an eye on you at 8th grade for being like that, son. So we'll get that figured out. Charlie Brideup lives right here in Georgetown, so we'll have a talk with him. Well, guys, here we go. We will start since the offense won last week. They will go first. This is going to be September trivia. So you're just gonna have to take your best educated guess. September trivia tonight. Offense will go first. And the way that this is gonna work, the first question, what was September named for? Was it a number, a Roman general, a Greek god, or a flower? What was September? This is gonna be hard, guys. What was September named for? A number, a Roman general, a Greek god, or a flower? You've got 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. Anybody in the audience know the answer to that one? I didn't know the answer to any of these, so I made it really hard tonight. Offense, you ready? All right, offense, go ahead. Yep, say it in the mic. Offense. RJ Moreno's going to take it away here.
All right, a Roman general.
Roman general. Defense?
We said number.
Number. Defense got it. The defense got it to start with tonight. Just to explain, the word September actually means 7. It was the 7th month on the Roman calendar. So I don't even understand that because 7 is really 9. It's really weird, though, but that's what it means. So, question number 2, defense, you will go first. Since you got the last one right, defense will go first.
No, we choose to defer. Go second.
If you were born on the 27th of September, what would your zodiac sign be? If you were born on the 27th of September, is it Capricorn, Libra, Aries, or Gemini? Capricorn, Libra, Aries, or Gemini. If you were born on the 27th of September, what would it be?
Oh, so you just gonna copy?
They're just going to copy.
Libra.
Libra, okay.
Libra.
You guys are both right. I had no idea what that was. So 1-1 here. Good job, offense and defense. We'll go back to the offense on this one. What is the birthstone for September? Birthstone in September? Is it topaz, sapphire, turquoise, or ruby? Just kind of think about it. What is the birthstone for September? Topaz, sapphire, turquoise, or ruby? We'll give you 5 seconds.
Are you certain?
Offense.
Can you say it one more time?
It is it topaz, sapphire, turquoise, or ruby, the birthstone?
All right. Sapphire.
Offense?
Sapphire.
Okay, defense?
Sapphire.
It is sapphire. Man, good job, guys. Defense leading 3-2, 3-2. Sapphires are found naturally searching through certain types of sediments. So get out there and find some sapphires. Bring them back to the coach's show. Question 4. What is the flower for September? The flower for September.
I didn't even know there's flowers.
We'll go back to the defense on this one. Defense, you're going to go first. Is it a sweet pea, aster, hollyhock, or bluebells? Sweet pea, aster, hollyhock, or bluebells? What is the flower for September? Does anybody know this one, the flower for September? I like this. Nobody.
What was the first one you said?
Is it sweet pea? Oh, sweet pea. Aster, hollyhock, or bluebells? Country ice cream.
Come here. Say it one more time.
All right, defense, you got 5 seconds. 5 seconds. This is all about character development, by the way, in these trivia challenges. Taylor, go ahead.
Hollyhock.
Offense, go ahead.
Hollyhock.
It is not, it is aster is the flower. So both of you were wrong on that one. Never even heard of an aster. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Never even heard of that flower. Stupid aster flower. They always get you. Symbolizes wisdom and valor. So actually, it's not a stupid flower. It's pretty wisdom and valor. So don't be knocking that flower, all right? Question 5, here we go. The defense leading 3-2. What holiday occurs in September? Is it Labor Day, Canadian Thanksgiving, Flag Day, or St. Patrick's Day? Labor Day, Canadian Thanksgiving, Flag Day, or St. Patrick's Day? The offense will go first. The offense will go first. Offense.
Labor Day.
Defense.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
You're from Canada, and it's not. It's Labor Day.
Are you serious?
Wow. He is from Canada. No. The offense got it. We were tied up 3 apiece. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Here's a last little breaker question. You're going to have to answer this question within 2 seconds. I'm not going to give you time to count. 2 seconds. I'm going to go to the defense first. You've got to answer it in 2 seconds. So you're going to say it, and then you're going to say it immediately after. Here we go. How many days in September? 29, 31, 30, or 28? 31. There's 30.
I told you.
Both wrong.
I had 2 seconds to answer.
All right, guys. So the score tonight, 3-3, tied up. No gain was ground, but at least you stayed even. That's the trivia challenge. So good job tonight, guys.
Shout out Josh. Shout out Josh.
Hey, quick question. Do you know how to do the days? You put your knuckles together. This is character building. Put your knuckles together. Every up knuckle is 31. Every down knuckle besides February is 30. July and August are 31. Pretty cool. I learned that in kindergarten. Character development. All right, guys, let's give it up. Round of applause for these guys. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it. And next week I will have you all aster flowers up here for valor and wisdom to help with the trivia challenge next week. So, well, guys, we always have a lot of fun with the trivia challenge. A great time for these guys to continue. Again, we're tied 3-3, so it is now 8-5. The offense leads as we will continue trivia challenge next week. I see Pete in the house. Is Vicky going to talk tonight, or is it Pete? Pete's coming up. Let's give it up for Pete Thill, your Georgetown Eagle Booster president. Come on up, Pete. Pete sent me a message earlier, said I may not be able to make it. Vicky's going to talk tonight, and then Pete came in to save the day, man. So Vicky doesn't have to talk tonight. So
At Booster Club training.
Booster
so
Club.
that I know how to properly run a cash accounting sheet.
What is? I've never heard of that. That's cool though.
Once a year.
Booster Club training.
Yep.
That is awesome. Character development. It just continues. Hey,
I see you got the black helmet.
We have the black helmet.
If you talked
Pete.
about that, I may have missed it if it was early.
We did, so we're excited. That's going to be on Friday. Talk a little bit about the helmets, so not just specifically this one, but Georgetown had to get a lot of new helmets because of equipment, that 10-year clause.
Yep.
Talk about that, Pete.
Yeah. Well, helmets are good for 10 years. If you look on the back of a helmet, it says first year of service is 2019. Once you hit 10 years past that initial date, the helmet can no longer be used for liability reasons, I believe. So we had, I believe it was 40 helmets that had been donated by one donor 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I guess. So those went out, and the Booster Club had been saving money. We had some money in our account. We were able to buy to replace those 40 helmets this year, I believe with the silver ones. So it was good. We had money in the Booster Club account. We had a rainy day fund. We got to use it for something that benefits the players. So we were excited about that.
Well, we're playing South San, of course, on Friday. Talk a little bit about the tailgating, what's going to happen on Friday. That game at 7:30.
7:30.
7:30. And it's weird because as we move to district games, they all go back to 7.
Correct.
So 7:30. Talk about the
and
tailgating.
that specifically has to do, I think, with a Pflugerville school. There was something where they needed to move it. But before we get to Friday, I want to talk about Thursday. Thursday night we have our JV games over at Georgetown. JV Silver plays South San Antonio at 5:30. We're playing that game a little bit earlier, Coach said, so that South San could get back on the road and head home and get home at a reasonable time. Then Hutto since South San doesn't have a second JV team, JV Blue will be playing Hutto at 7 o'clock at the stadium. And then to get a game for our freshman players, because they also don't have a second freshman team, our freshman Blue will be playing Eastview at 5:30 at the practice field at Georgetown. So, I'm sorry.
Freshman White.
Freshman White will be playing. Freshman White. Playing at 5:30. So we'll have 2 games at 5:30 at Georgetown, one in the stadium, one in the practice field. Then the later game, 7 o'clock, there'll be 1 game in the stadium.
Okay. And so then 7:30, South San, Friday.
Yep. 7:30, South San at Bobcat Stadium, 2515 Navajo Street in San Antonio, not at Texas State. I heard you mentioning that earlier, but there was some confusion. Somebody called the district office asking questions about it. We've clarified that on our webpage. So if you go to georgetownfootball.com, which is where we post all our stuff, you'll be able to see that. It's on there both in the coach's direction, and then if you go to our schedule, it'll have that on there as well. Friday during the day before we get to the game, ticket sales for the game. If people want to go buy tickets at the school, they'll be on sale at the entrance to the school Thursday and Friday before school. I think they go till about 9:15. Then I think Thursday during lunch period they'll be for sale. I don't think they will be Friday because you'll be leaving about then. Then we're going to be tailgating at 5 o'clock, which is organized by Roland Moreno at D. Willie's Barbecue, 6506 South Zarzamora Street, San Antonio. If you go on social media, on our Facebook page, it should be on our Twitter. That information's on there where we'll be, what time it begins at 5 o'clock. People just filter in when they're ready. Last week we were at George's in
George-O's. Yeah, how did that go? I bet it went
great.
Pretty well.
We filled a room. I mean, we had great support. It was good. It was a great place. Food was good. They did a good job getting us in and out and serving it. And then I want to tell people, if you're coming to the game, be loud. We're not going to have a band. We're not going to have the Georgettes. Some people have told me they think that the cheerleaders are coming by halftime, but when I talked to Coach, he said he didn't think they were coming. So it may just be the team, the parents, the fans. We're going to have to make up for the lack of having the noisemakers of the band there. Get your cowbells and clang them loud.
Make them loud. It's going to be a good game coming up as we're excited about that. And you talk about the food on these road trips. I can't wait to get back home because, man, I'm really craving some Mr. Moreno barbecue back there, man. So we miss you, brother. We like the away food, but we really need our home cooking.
Yep. So he does. Roland does a great job organizing our tailgating. And then if people haven't been there before, we have a football shed that's between the baseball field and the football stadium, and before games, beginning about 5:30, between 5 and 5:30, Roland organizes cooking food for everybody. We had at least several hundred people there last game.
Wow.
Everybody's encouraged to come. It's just a place to hang out, get ready for the game. You don't have to. There's no mandatory charge. It's a donation if you want to give money. But it's great. It's trying to build a community around the program, around the team.
Well, as always, you can find out more information about the Booster Club at georgetownfootball.com. Mark Ramos, really appreciate him as he embed our actual SHN coverage on the front page of georgetownfootball.com now. So many of you always ask me, well, hey, how can we get to the game? Of course, if you go to YouTube, always make sure to hit subscribe. That's one way. But if you go to georgetownfootball.com, now the latest event will always be on the front page of that website. So right now, this live stream is happening on georgetownfootball.com on the front page. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see the game or hear the game on Friday. I won't be at that game. I'm going to try to bring some cool weather back. I'll be on a plane heading up to Grand Forks for Sam Houston State, so we're excited about that. But Carl Schoening will be on the call, my business partner and best friend. He's the SNSHN, so you'll get to hear Carl, which is exciting. and David England will be on color. So we're looking forward to having Doppler Dave, as we call him here. He's the weatherman for us. He will be on color, so we're excited. Looking forward to it. Final thoughts, Pete?
I have one more thing to talk about. We have for the varsity players at 8 o'clock on Friday morning, we have taco breakfast. If you are a varsity parent, we ask that everybody brings tacos twice during the season so that we can feed all the boys. We end up bringing in, I think it's 30 dozen tacos each week. Might even be more than that. So we feed all the boys at 8 o'clock. Parents are encouraged to come. Coach shows a video, highlights of last game, and then a little small motivation. They show a film. Then after that, the parents that want to can stick around, and we walk out on the field. I have a key to get into the field. We go out there and just pray for safety for everybody traveling and for safety for the boys playing. So it's a good thing that's part of the program that is Georgetown football and the Georgetown Booster Club.
Awesome. We appreciate you, Pete. We appreciate the accessibility from all over Georgetown, making our coverage possible to help promote these kids. You talked about prayer earlier. Again, please keep Bobby Rogers and him in your prayers. We love that family. We love Bobby, especially. He's helped us generously on SHN when Caden and his son and his grandsons were here. So we appreciate their family. We love you, Bobby, and we will continue to keep you in our prayers. One more time, I want to thank our sponsors, Extraco Banks, Georgetown Shirt Company, and Royce Electric, supporting their granddaughter, Kaylee Biondo, who is a cheerleader. Hey, today's September 11th as well, so this I always say this at the end of every broadcast, and take this to heart tonight, friends, that we're not strong enough alone to make it our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there, especially tonight, needs you. Good night, and God bless from Georgetown, Texas. Thank y'all for being here. Oh, you know what? We do this every week. On the count of 3, Eagle Fight never dies. We got to do that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Eagle Fight never dies. We'll see you next time, guys.